A game is a set of rules that determine the outcome for the players based on their choices. Games theory is the study of games. It helps us make better decisions by understanding the motivations of ourselves and others. In this video, we're going to look at 3 quick examples of games theory in action. The first is called the prisoner's dilemma. Imagine 2 criminals who are being held in separate cells. They don't know what the other one has done, but they do know that if they confess and implicate the other person, they'll get a lighter sentence. If they both confess, they'll both get a medium sentence. And if neither of them confess, then they'll both get a light sentence. So what should they do? Well, from an individual perspective, it's always best to confess, regardless of what the other person has done. But if they both confess, they'll both end up with a medium sentence, which is worse for both of them. So it would be better if they both didn't confess, but because each of them only knows their own individual payoff matrix, they both end up confessing, which means they both end up with a medium sentence. This shows us that sometimes in life it's better to cooperate, but people will only ever choose to cooperate if they know that the other person will also cooperate. The second example is called the coordination game. In this game, 2 people have to agree on a time to meet. Person 1 can only come at either 10 or 11, and person 2 can only come at either 10 or 11. If they both agree to meet at 10, then they both get a light sentence. If they both agree to meet at 11, then they both get a light sentence. If they agree to meet at different times, then they get a medium sentence. And if neither of them show up, then they both get a heavy sentence. Now there are multiple Nash equilibria in this game, which means there are multiple combinations of strategies that lead to the best possible outcome for both of them. In this case, both coming at 10 or both coming at 11 are the 2 Nash equilibria. But because there is more than one equilibrium, which equilibrium they end up in depends on things like who gets there first or who decides to concede. The final example is called the ultimatum game. One person starts with $100 and they offer some of it to the other person. The other person can then choose to accept or reject the offer. If they accept, they get the money and the person offering gets the rest. If they reject, then nobody gets anything. So what should they do? Well, if they were to reject this offer, they would get nothing, which is worse than accepting any positive amount. Therefore, any positive offer should be accepted. Now imagine that the person offering only had $99. Would $99 be offered? No. Because if it was, it would be rejected and the person offering would end up with $0, which is worse than just keeping all $100 to begin with. Therefore, an offer of $99 would never be made. And actually, no offer less than $2 would be made because if it was, it would be rejected and the person offering would end up with $0, which is worse than just keeping all $100 to begin with. So in this game, the person offering is basically giving away 2% of their starting amount and the other person is getting 2% of the starting amount for free.